Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this lesson, we're going to be making this floor plan, furnish it and add materials to the walls and floors here inside Blender. This lesson, I'm going to break it to different parts and each and every one of them will be filled with tips and tricks. Before we start, we need to get a floor plan. If you are working for a client, they will provide it for you, or you can go to the internet and go to houseplans.com or floorplans.com. This website has databases of house plans. So this is one I search, and then you can right click and save image, or you can go to floorplans.com. Same thing with house plan, you can just input any value here and search for house plans. So you can right click and save image, or you can go to houseplans3d.com and you can also search on this website. We'll be using this for this lesson, and the link to this plan is in the description, or you can just follow it here in the website and get it. Okay, it's free. On a side note, if you would want to make your own house plans, you can use SmartDraw or floorplanner.com or floor plans. Okay, or maybe you can just go to Google and search for house plans, or Pinterest, as the case may be. Well, let's dive right into Blender. So let's proceed. Here in Blender, I want to delete everything, so let's bring in the floor plan. Okay, so I would like to be in my top orthographic view, and then screencast. Okay, so I can just drag and drop the floor plan here. So you can see that the plan is not in the center of the world. I will just press Alt G to reset its location. And another thing again is, if your drag and drop does not work, you can always go to add, you go to image and you look for reference image, and to take you to where you just find where you have your image. So I'm going to undo. I already have this here. Okay, and another thing is, if you're in perspective view, okay, and you drag in your reference, or you import your reference when you're in perspective view, right? You can see that it's going to be oriented like this. To correct it, all you have to do is click on that particular image and press Alt arrow to reset the location, and Alt arrow to reset the rotation, and Alt G to reset the location again. Alt arrow, Alt G. Okay, so we don't need any of them because we already have ours here. You can see that it's only when I'm in my top orthographic view that I am seeing my reference picture. That's because of Blender 4.2 and updates. Well, to correct that, or maybe if you would want to see it in perspective view too, when you click on the image, you can come to the image data tab or the property menu of the image, and then you enable perspective and you have it. Another thing again I would like to show you is, if you check the under of the image reference, you can see that it's not visible. It's only visible from on top. That's because of the settings here that says only front. If I switch to only back, you see, I'll see it's only on the back, and then there's only front. If I want to see that both of them, you just click on both, and then you see from both sides. So whatever works fine for you, you do that. Now, a very important stuff you would want to know is the size. If we start building this house plan, or this house from this plan, we are not going to build it to size because this scale is wrong. Okay, our plan says this is 0.7 meters by 0.2. If I use the measurement tool and then I measure, you see I barely have, this is 1.4 meters. Okay, so to be able to do that, first of all, I'm going to enable opacity, and then I'll tune down the opacity of the image a tad so that I can see whatever I will be working with. Okay, so next thing, I'm going to bring in a plane. Okay, I can go to edit mode and delete only faces to have the outline of our plane like this. Or if I don't want to delete the face while the plane is selected, I can come to the object property menu of this plane, and I can go to viewport display, and I can switch my display to be wire. Okay, so I still have the same, so whatever works fine for you. So to get the scale of the building, we already have the measurement here to be 12 meters. So you can scale this plane to be 12 meters in the X, and then you can scale this stuff to, you can scale the as plan to fit it. That works fine for you, no problem. But what I would want to do, I want to use another method to do it, which is using the door or the window. But in this lesson, we are going to use the door, okay? And to get the dimension of the door, if you download the resource that isn't from the description or from the website, you'll see that the dimensions for the door is 900 centimeters, okay? So what I'm going to do is, while the plane is selected, I am going to go to my end property menu, and I'll just, okay, so now that I have given it 0.9 meters, what I would want to do is to move it to fit somewhere around here. So just mash at the one edge of the door. You can use here or you can use here, whatever works for you is fine. Then I'll switch to my cursor tool, and then I will snap my cursor to this point, and then I will change my transform pivot to 30 cursor. By default, it's in median point, so but we want it to be in the 30 cursor, okay? So now that that's switched to the 30 cursor, remember to switch back to the selection tool. If you're in the cursor tool, when you click any other place, the cursor will snap to that place. So let's make sure that we are in the selection tool. So now you can select the house plan and then scale. You see? So just smash the dimensions that we have. Are you seeing? So it has matched with the plane. Okay. If you use the measurement tool now and then you measure, you see you have 0.9 meters. Another thing that you should take note of is that we are having a little rounding off error. You can be precise if you want to be precise, okay? Well, that's fine, okay? So let's proceed. I no longer need the plane. I will delete the plane. I'll switch back to the selection tool. And you can see here I already created a folder called buildings because I like organizing my scene. I have my reference and then I have my building. So my reference is where I have the reference images that I need. And then I have the human reference size here. I got this from blender.org. There's a free base mesh at the Blender Foundation website. You can get yours if you want to, it's free. Okay, so with that, let's move forward. And then I want to disable the selectable. If you don't have this icon here, you can go to filter and enable it. By default, it is not there. So if you want yours, you can just enable it. So when it is disabled, you can see that whatever I click is not going to affect it, okay? So next thing, I want to reset my cursor with Shift-C, and then I'll click on the building collection, and then I'm going to add in plane. So what I want to do, I'll go to edit mode, select one vertex point, this particular one here, and then Shift S, and I'll do cursor to selected. To snap my cursor to this particular vertex, I'll go to object mode, right click, and set origin to 30 cursor. You see, just snap there, and then I'll press Alt G to snap it here, okay? Because I want to work from the origin, from the 00 point of the word up, okay? So with that, I will select the empty, and you can see when I select it, it's not selected because I have disabled selectable. So I'll enable it back, and then I'll select the empty, rather the image reference, the floor reference, and I'm going to try and match the reference with what I have here. You don't have to be that meticulous about it, just roughly position it there. Okay, so disable selectable so that I'll not be able to select it. So here I'll just name the plane to be walls. Okay, so I'll select the walls, I'll go to edit mode, and then I'll delete every other vertex. I'll just leave this particular one here. So I'm going to extrude clockwise. Okay, so what I'm going to do, to select this one back, EY 3.2. Okay, you can see that when I give it 3.2, you can see that it doesn't fit with what we have. That's because the 3.2 is from this internal wall down to this internal. So they didn't allocate dimensions for the thickness of the wall, which is about 0.2, and this should be 0.1. Okay, so if we are to put that into consideration, you can just type our figures, but instead of doing that, I'm going to come to grid, rather I'll come to my snapping option. Okay, so I want to use the snapping function in Blender. In older version of Blender, you won't have grid, you will see increment, and then if you come down, you will see absolute grid snap and not absolute increment snap for older versions of Blender. Okay, for this version of Blender, we already have grid here, so I'm just going to be snapping to the grid. And then you can always turn on this magnetic icon here, or rather this magnet icon. So, you press G now, you see it starts snapping. But what I prefer doing, I like this turned off, okay? And then I will just press G to move. I'll bring it down. And then I'll just hold down Control to be snapping, okay? Once I hold down Control to be snapping, you see? To snap to wherever I want it to. And then if you want to get incremental snap, like final snap to be snapping to the smaller boxes, you can either zoom in to do that, or from wherever zoom level you are, when you hold down G, Y to snap, and then you can just press shift, add shift to it, and then you get final snap. I'm going to stop here. What I want to do is that I always snap to either before the thickness of the wall. Right, I'm talking about this wall here now. So before the thickness of this wall is going to be somewhere around here, or after the thickness somewhere around here. Whatever side you use works fine. So I'm just going to stick to before the thickness, and then I will continue my extruding here, and then I will continue here. You can see that this didn't, you can see that this didn't properly snap, so I'm going to adjust that. Hold down Control and then Shift to get final snap. Same thing with you. Okay, so I'm sure you understand what I'm doing, so I'm going to fast forward the video. Okay, so when you get to the end, instead of extruding this to match with this one, don't do that. And you can see that when I press E to extrude and then I right click, I've cancelled the extrusion, but that extrusion is still there, okay? You should take note of that, because some of you might, extrude and extrude on a particular point, and then you have multiple vertices on a particular location, okay? So make sure you take note of that. So I'll just press X to delete that vertex that I extruded. There's another one here, rather the original one is there. So I'll select both of them like this, and I'll press F to fill in an edge, okay? So one thing you should always take note of is that this point and this point should be aligned, okay? So I can just select both of them if I'm not so sure, and then I'll make sure I switch back to my median point, okay? And then I'll press S to scale. I want to scale in the x-axis, and then I'll press 0, just to be sure if you want to do that for this S, Y, 0, okay, to flatten it up, okay? So I'll just leave it here on the screen for a little while if you want to check if yours is the same as mine, okay? Okay, fine, so let's proceed. Another thing I did was that I turned on under my mesh overlay here, I turned on edge length so that my lengths are visible, but you can't see them currently, except if I select it, you'll see the particular length is somewhere there, but the black is covering it. Okay, if I switch my themes, I'm sure you'll be able to see it clearly. You see, here it is. But I prefer working in the black theme. Sorry. Now let's make the walls inside the house. So I'll just select this 2 point here and I'll press F to fill it in. I can select. Okay, then I want to do a loop cut here, pressing Ctrl R, and there you have it, but I need it to match with this. So I'll switch my snapping from grid to vertex. So watch this, I'll press G to move, X, and then I'll select this and it snaps. Okay, there's a new functionality in Blender called base points. Okay, so when I press G to move, right, and I'm moving in the x-axis because I want it just in the x-axis. Okay, and then I'll press B, which is to activate base point reference, and then I'll click on the first one, and then I'll click on the next one I'm referencing, and then you see it snaps. It also works, so you can use any of them. Okay, so with that, I'm going to select this one and then I'll extrude. You can see that we don't have any dimension for this particular wall, but maybe, okay, yeah, when I check the sheet, it's from this point to this point is 0.7 meters. But I would like to know the dimension from the outer thickness of the wall to that particular point. Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll just E to extrude, or select it, E to extrude, and then I'm moving in the y-axis. I'll just snap to somewhere around here. 7, I think should be, this thickness should be around 0.2 plus 7, that would be 9. So if I know it to be 0.9, so I can just select this EY 0.9. Okay, you see, accurate. I just realized that I didn't join these walls together, so I'll select both of them and I'll press F to fill it in, and then let me check with everything. Nice. You can see that I didn't put the walls here and the one here. Don't worry, we'll get to that. So for now, I'm going to shift it to duplicate and then right click to cancel. And then I'm going to name these floors. Okay, so I'll hide the walls and then enable the floor. Okay, for this floor, from our reference image, we can see that, like, if you want to give this room and this room a different material entirely, okay, like maybe this is going to be brown, or this is going to be pink, and this is going to be purple, or all that stuff, what you want to do, you can actually do that. And I just realized that in the wall, I did not join these 2 points together. So I'm going to make sure I have it joined together like this to create a demarcation. And then I'll go back to the floors and then I'll do same thing too. Okay, so now with this, I can just select all 4 points here and I'll press F to fill it, and then F to fill this in. As for this, before I fill it in, I'm going to select this one, GG, to slide it up there, and then press it to select everything, M, and I'll do mesh by distance to remove that particular overlap. Okay, so now I can select everything here and I'll press F, and I'll select this one here and I'll press F. So this one can have a different material, from the living room to the kitchen will be a different material, and then the bathroom will be a different material. Okay, so I can hide the floors and then I can move to the walls. Okay, so now I want to extrude the walls up, but I will have to check the height of the building. Okay, this is much better. Okay guys, before we get to the elevation, right, I would want to explain how it is. So from what we have here, zoom in a bit. Okay, so from what we have here, you can see that we have 3 different staircases, and each one of them is 0.15 meters. Okay, and then we'll see you have an extra, but this is not a staircase, it's just like an elevation before you enter the house, and that is another 0.15. And then for the punch out calculator, we can have 0.15 times that will give us 0.6. So the total height from here up is 0.6, okay? 0.6, okay? But what we want to get the elevation from this ground, from this point up to this point, and we have it to be 0.35 meters, and then from here up is another 0.6, okay? So we can say 0.35 plus 0.6, that's going to give us the elevation for the front. And then for the side, we have the side to be 2.8 meters. That's nice. Okay, so with that, we can just come to Blender. I'll go to my front photography view, go to edit mode, select everything, okay? And then I'll press E to extrude to the Z. I'll press Z so that it will go to the Z axis. And then I'll just press 3.35, okay? Now press enter, and then I want to extrude another one for this 0.6, okay? So I'll go again, E to extrude in the Z, and I'll press 0.6, okay? So that's that. So I'll switch to my front orthographic view. I'm thinking if I should add these walls now. Okay, so let's just add these walls. So I'll select all of them like this, and the dimension for the wall was given. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, the dimension was given. This is 1.4, this is 2 meters. No, this is 2.2 plus the thickness of the wall here. So, 2 meters is fine. This is 1.4, this is 600, yeah. 2 meters works fine for us. So I will just make sure I'm selecting everything here, okay? Then I'll press E to extrude in the X, and I'll say 0.2. Sorry, 2 itself, not 0.2. Yeah, perfect. Okay. But remember, I have to minus this particular for the deck. So I think I've added it. So I'll press E to extrude. Sorry, I'll press G to move in the X axis, and I'm going to take that's 600. I'm going to take minus 0.6. Okay, good. This is better. Nice. And then for the back, we can check our document again, and the back from here to here, so 600 it is. So I'll go to where is it? I'll go to edit mode, select all of it, select all of it, okay, check in, and then I'll press E to extrude X, and I'm going 0.6. Perfect. Okay, so we have it selected. Nice. So I can go to my front orthographic view. I'll be in my wireframe view, go to edit mode, and then I'll select this. Now press S, sort of selected. Remember that the back is supposed to be from here up, is supposed to be 2.8 meters. If I'm to select, let's see, I select it, we can see that what we are having here is 3.35, just like the front, okay? So the selection mode, I'll select all the top vertices, and then I'll switch to my cursor tool, sorry, to cursor, and then I can rotate. This is one method of doing it, but I want to show you another method. So I will select this. Let me just make sure I select one of them. I'll select this point, okay? And then shift it to duplicate. I'll just move it out here. I'll press E to extrude in the Z, and I'll make it 2.8 meters, okay? 2.8 meters, okay? So I'll use my knife tool, K for the knife tool, and then I'll press C to cut through. So I'll select one point here, and then I'm going to reference this point. Nice. Then I'll press enter. Okay. So with this, I have the accurate measurement. So I can switch to my selection tool, and then I can select all these points because I want them out. Okay. X, and I'll delete vertices. For this, I'm just gonna do Ctrl X to get rid of it. U2 and this. So this is our correct measurement, okay? So if I'm to check the measurement for this, you see, accurate with what I have from the reference. Accurate measurement, so, and then I can select this one, then I can delete it because its services is no longer required. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's give our wall some thickness. Before we do that, we need to check on a particular something, which is the face orientation. If I'm to go to this particular place and see, we're having different face orientation, okay? I'm just going to, I will leave it like this so that you see what I want to do. And then I will just go to the modifier menu, and then I'm going to add the solidify modifier. The thickness should be 0.2. Yeah, you see? We're having some crazy deformations. Are you seeing? Okay, so one is because of the face orientation, another is because of the method we are using in the solidify modifier. So I'm going to disable the solidify modifier. So every red part, okay, should be pointing to the direction that our wall thickness is going to be. Like this, for example, this red is pointing outward, it's supposed to be pointing inward, where we have this particular thickness. This one should be pointing inward. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. Okay, so I'm going to start flipping the faces. So I'll go to edit mode, face selection mode. I'll select both of them like this, and I'll press Shift N to flip. If it does not flip, that's fine. You can press Ctrl Shift N, and then it's going to flip. As for this is going to be flipped. Ctrl Shift N, Ctrl Shift N. This, okay. Okay, so I have all my faces flipped. So now when I go back to object mode, let me turn this off. Okay, so when I enable the solidify modifier, you can see it is working, but we still have some weird deformations. Even if you enable even thickness, it's still not going to work. So how are we going to do that? So I'll switch from simple to complex. Okay, voila. You can see we're having some weird value here. Oh, I didn't flip this face. Let's see, let me check it out again. Yep, I didn't flip the face. Are you seeing it? So I'm going to flip this face. Okay, and then when I turn it on, bravo. Okay, so you can, but from our reference, you can see that the internal walls are thinner than the external walls. How are we going to go about it? Simple. I'll just go to edit mode, and then I will make sure I select all the internal walls like this, and then P separate by selection. Then I'm going to call them inner walls. Okay, so inner walls selected, and I know the value should be 0.1. How did I know? It's from our documents. Oh, here you are. You see, 100 centimeters, which is 0.1. Okay, meters. Yeah, that's that. And you can see this Z fighting that we're having here. This flickering we're having is called Z fighting. So you can select go to edit mode. You can just move it inside. Okay, so let's proceed. Remember that we should have remember that we've extruded from this particular point, this staircase up. Okay, that's what we have here up. But another thing I want us to do, we need to put this little demarcation that the door is going to sit, and from our reference we can see that that is 0.15. okay, so back to Blender, what to do is I can click on the outer walls, we can leave the inner walls, no problem. Yeah, no problem. So click on the outer walls, go to edit mode, Control arrow, so adding a loop cut. You can see that loop cut is not, let me see, let me first of all disable the solidify modifier. So let's add in the loop cut. To share, this is going to be problematic. I don't want to do this. So Ctrl Z, what to do? I can just select all the bottom, okay? Go to my front orthographic or whatever orthographic view that works fine for you. So G to move Z axis, okay? And I'll do 0.15. Good. So now, and then I'm going to extrude down. So E to extrude in the Z axis, 0.15. So now we have this. Now let's get the dimensions for here. What we have here was that from this point, from this point down, you know, one stack is about 0.15 meters. Okay, so and we have 3 of them. That's going to be 0.4 meters. So remember, everything is still selected here in Blender. Again, front or side orthographic view, E to extrude, Z minus, okay, 0.4. You can confirm if you want to select, you see, 0.4, select 0.15. So if you add this together, it's going to be 0.6. Okay, that's fine. So now you can see that our house has gone under the x-axis. We don't want that, we want it to be above the x-axis, okay? So I'll go back to my object mode, make sure I'm selecting everything, okay? Go to any of the orthographic view, and then I can switch to grid, okay? And then I can do G, Z, and just snap to grid. Bravo, awesome. Okay, so now that we have that, select the outer walls alone, shift it to duplicate, right click, piece, separate by selection, okay? Let's see if it's going to add. Go to local view. Sorry, yeah, local view, go to edit mode, and then yeah, I just add in 3 loop cuts. Here it is. So I'll select all 3 of the faces. Okay, you can see that we see have an extra dimensions here. Let's see what we have here. That should be, this is a total of 4.2. This is 2.4. Okay, this is 3.4. Oh well, I think we're just going to eyeball it. But you can get the accurate measurements if you want to. That's fine. So it's extrude. So I'll just extrude someone here. And that should be, do I need to be meticulous about this? Yeah, 1.4. Yeah, that's 1.4. That's what we have here. The first stack is to be 1.4. And then the next one is going to be 300, which is 1.9. Okay. So, and then I'll come select both of them here. Go back to my topographic view, E to extrude. So I'll just add 0.3 to it. 0.3. Yeah. It's fine. So I'll select the last one. Same thing, 0.3. So E to extrude. How do I get the 0.3? See, we have this to be 600 here. So if we know that from here to here is 1.4, and this to here is 600, which is 300, 300, which is 0.3, Do you understand? Yes, you do. Let's proceed. So I want to select both of them here because we want to get the dimensions for this. If this is 0.4, well, you do the maths. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'll extrude somewhere around here, and then this extrude. Yep, beautiful. So we have our staircase. So I'm going to name this STRs. Just stairs is fine. Okay. So we have our walls, outer walls, inner walls, and then the floor. Let's see, where's the floor? Okay, you can see that our floor is not accurate. Our floor is supposed to start from this point and not from where it is. Well, so I'll switch my snapping to vertex, and then Let me just turn on my wireframe so that you see wires. If you don't have that plugin, you can just come here and then just click to enable wires. So while the floor is selected, I'll press G to move in the Z. So I'll just snap it around there. Nice. Save your all, guys. Okay, so let's proceed. So let's check the face orientation. Okay, it's working. So I think I should have separated both of them to be same thing. See, so I want this and this be separate by selection. I want both of them to be selected. Ctrl J. Okay, so I can turn off my face orientation now. Okay, so let's proceed with the modeling of these parts. Okay, let's check our plan. You can see that the dimension for it, which is from here, from this point, I'll show you. So from this point to this point, let's look for the dimension. If this is 0.15 and this is 0.35, okay, we can just do the calculation. 0.35 minus 0.15. Yeah, that's 0.2. That's going to give us the height of this particular wall. And then from here to here should be how many? Oh, I think we can figure it out because the staircase from here to here is the same thing with what we have here, which means from the plan, we should be looking for detailed plan. Yeah, we'll have it to be from here to this point is 3.4. Yeah, 3.4 meters. That's going to be the dimension from here to here, and the thickness of this wall is going to be 0.2. Okay, cool. We have that, so let's proceed. Oh, the height, I said okay, height will be 3.2. Let's see what we have. So I'm going to first of all flatten it, and then you see I'm just going to go GZ. Yeah, 0.2 is the height. Cool. And again, we can see that we have this thickness to be 0.2. Same thing with this place here, which is from here to here 0.2, 0.2, and I'm sure there should be 0.2. And the thickness for here is they didn't give any value. Oh, 0.4. Okay, 0.4. So with that known, we can proceed. Anyways, but if you don't have all these dimensions, you can always eyeball it, okay? In case you have a plan that does not have all these dimensions, because of this plan has all these dimensions, that's why I am working with it, okay? Just letting you know about that. So I can control arrow and then just snap it here, and I can do GX2 and then control arrow again, snap it to the ending GX minus 2, okay? Another one in the middle. Let me see, just confirming this is 0.4, 0.4 like that. So I can just control B. We have here. Okay, I get there. We'll have it to be 1 point. Let me use the bottom. We'll have it to be 1.8. So I can just do S and X and then just make it 0.2. Okay, that's fine. So face selection mode, select the faces here, X and delete faces. Oh, before I'm deleting the face, I think there's something missing, which is I should have another thickness here, which is going to be 0.15, I presume. Let's see if from here to here is 2.75 and from ground up to up is the dimension should be given somewhere. Let's see. Well, for this, I'm going to eyeball it and I'm going to make it 0.2. Okay, remember 0.4. Okay, so I'll just put in a loop cut, snap it there, and then I can go GZ.2 minus. Okay, so there we have it. So select this face, X to delete faces. Cool. So I can see, turn on solidify. Beautiful. Okay, let's turn it off again. So I should have just extruded only the top E, Y, and then snap it. Then I'm to extrude down. This is 0.6. So E, Z minus 6. That should be it. So let's check our face orientation. Let's see. Okay. Then let's turn on solidify. See, beautiful. Okay. Let's check our reference. How does it look compared to what we have? Nice. Okay, so let's proceed. What's next to do? I want to finish the front part of this building, like the modeling part of it. So let's get our dimensions for this thickness is 0.7 and it starts from here. Okay. So back to Blender, go to edit mode, it starts from here. So I can just add in a loop cut here, snap there, gx.7, sorry, y. So that's its dimension. So that what we have. So select it like this, shift D to select P, separate by selection. We can call it yellow pillar, whatever. And then we also have this. This is let's see, 0.2 from the top. Are you seeing it? This is I saw 0.2 soon, but now I'm seeing it to be 0.5. Okay, we're going to take a dimension 0.5 from this point down is 0.5. Okay, so that I'm going to do. So select it. So I'll add in a loop cut, snap it up, and then GZ.5. Nah, I think I should be sure of my calculation. See. Oh, so this is it. This is the measurement 0.1, 0.5, 0.1. Sorry, I think I did the wrong calculation. So this is 0.1, not 0.5. Okay, so I can snap it up. GZ minus. So that's that. So we're going to have the wall thickness that begins from this point here. Okay. So I can go to face selection mode, select these walls. I don't want you. I don't want you. Confirm, did it go all around? Yep. Let me see if it went all around to the back. Okay, it stopped somewhere here. Nice. So we don't want you to. Okay. So I can press Shift to duplicate, P, separate by selection. What are we going to call it? I don't know. I'll just call it that. Oh, I did not deselect this, so I have to delete this. Don't want it. Okay. So I want to select the outer walls, and then I can I don't want this. I'm going to dissolve it out. Don't want it. Good. So to dissolve, while it's selected, I just press Ctrl X in S selection mode to dissolve it. So, oh, I should have separated this along with this. So that's why I'm having issues with. So please separate by selection. So, merge them together. But we're going to work on this backside later. So let's just continue. So what do we have? Oh yeah, let's do this. So I'm just going to check the face orientation again. Then I'm going to have to flip the face because I want to use the solidify modifier. And I think the thickness that they gave us is see, where is it? I don't have the thickness value for it, guys. So we're just going to eyeball it. Or maybe that is the 0.5 that we saw. I think I'm just going to make it a 0.5. Okay. 0. Too small. I'll just make it 0.1. Okay, 0.1 works fine. So as for the yellow aspect, the yellow wall, let me see what I have. I think thickness was given. I saw it somewhere. Okay, 0.12. Okay. So where is it? Yellow pillar, and then we're going to make it 0.1. And then you can see it's going inside and want it out. So this orientation, and then we'll just flip it. And the dimensions for it, which is the thickness is you see the thickness is 0.18 for a single thickness. Yep. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll go to local view, select the top alone. Oh, I'll just have to select everything, X, delete. Oh. So this, slide it down and I'll do GZ 0.18. This is the thickness for it. Okay, that's what we have. So now I'm going to add in the array modifier and I want it to go to the Z. Okay. I think I want a little gap, too small. This is 1.1. Good. So we're just going to array to get to the top. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. The roof is going to do the rest part of it. Okay, so let's work on this. Let me show you from here. Let's work on this part. Okay, this part. The thickness that they gave us is 0.3, but let's see the height from here to here. Let me see. How do we get the dimension? We say 0.6. Okay. If from here to here is 0.8, like we have, we just have to minus 0.6 from it. Okay, let me explain. So if okay, so to get the height of it, we can do the mathematics, but also we can also eyeball it. I can see that from this reference, I can see that the top of this is equivalent to the top of this pillar here. Okay, so so I'm going to do something, which is I already know that the height here is 3 meters. Okay, so I can come here, add in a loop cut, slide it down, GZ. So this is what we're going to have. Okay, so I just want this one, should to duplicate, P separates by selection. So go back to object mode and then dissolve it. We don't want that anymore. So this is what we want. And we know that the dimension that they gave us here, that the thickness is 3 meters. And this is 1 meters. Okay. So I'll just extrude it down here. And then I'll turn off the solidify modifier for now, like I'll just remove it totally. And the thickness that we have is, let's see, do I have a thickness? Okay, yeah, 0.2. Oh, look at the dimension here, 3 meters. So I was right, 3 meters. So the thickness here is 0.2. And from here to here, we'll have to do some mathematics, but the same thing. So we have our thickness to be 0.2. So I can add in a loop cut and then take it down there, and then GZ.2 minus, okay? And then I can extrude it in the y-axis, snap here, select both of them, F to fill in the face, F to fill in the face, Ctrl R to add in the loop cut, and the thickness should be, I think it's 0.2. 0.2. So I'm going to do that. Snap it there, GY. Okay, so that's the thickness. So we can extrude there, fill it in. Okay, so let's extrude out. And from our documentation, we can see that it goes from 0.3 meters thick down to 1 meters, okay? And we can see the 0.2 marker here. It is from here that, let me draw. You see, we have the from here 0.2 before it started reducing down. What a beautiful line I drew. So we can have it extruded E, and then we know that is 0.3. Okay, and then we can take this is 0.1 GX, and then we can make it 0.1. Let me see. Now it is still 0.2. We still need to reduce it some more. You can see I don't know if you can see the number, the measurement here. So I'm just go GX and I'll just, this is it, 0.1. 0.1, 0.2, bravo. So we have it. I'm checking if there's any other thing to model. Okay, if you want to have this extra stuff here, like we have in the reference, let me just do that. Like we have in the reference, this is, they didn't give us a dimension for it, so we can just eyeball this, okay? So I can go to edit mode, add in the loop cut here, and then I can select, I'll need it, I'll need to snap it, GX, there, okay? So I can just select it, E, and I can just extrude it. I think 0.1 is fine. So something like this, if you want to do that. So I already have that. So save. In the next part, we'll be working on the doors, windows, and some extra stuff. Oh, before I go, I've not done the deck, which is the back side of it. So I can select the wall, select this part. Okay, I think I just want only here because I can feel it. I can fill in the face here. Okay, so I can select that, E to extrude in the x-axis, and I can just snap it there. So select both of them like this. I have to fill in the face. Let's check the face orientation. Okay, that's good. So I can delete this part, add in a loop cut, snap it there. I have to fill it in, and then I have to fill it in. What do we have here? If we still want the wall, but we're not going to see it, right? We're not seeing it, so why bother? So I can now delete this out. As for this, since we're not going to be seeing all these parts, we can just take them out. Face orientation for this. Nice. Okay, so there we go. In the next part, we are going to be adding the doors, windows, and some extra stuff. Peace out.